Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film, The Master. It's about this man played by Joaquin Phoenix, who, after going to World War II, is lost. He's told by a therapist he has a nervous condition. I don't think he was ever very well adjusted, to be honest. But after the war, he's very lost. He doesn't go back to his small town that he grew up in. He's a department store photographer. He gets drunk all the time with the concoction he makes with photography chemicals and paint thinner. It gets him really messed up. And then he works in a lettuce farm. He gets in trouble there. And then he, while stumbling around, finds this boat and walks onto the boat and wakes up and is told that he was very drunk and was violent. And he meets Philip Seymour Hoffman's character and is running a thing that's just called The Cause. And he's made up this belief system based on his writing. Joaquin Phoenix joins The Cause and Philip Seymour Hoffman and his wife, played by Amy Adams, and he basically becomes part of their organization. And as volatile as he is, Philip Seymour Hoffman is control and running this kind of way to show that man is not just an animal. And I even read today that on set, Paul Thomas Anderson would refer to him as like his monkey and show videos of monkeys sleeping, because Joaquin Phoenix represents something that Philip Seymour Hoffman is not. And in a way, they are the classic romantic idea that opposites attract. As much as Joaquin Phoenix is chaos, he is chaos. He's crazy. He's manic. You know, there's certain scenes where I see him walk across the room. Is he gonna flip a chair over? Is he gonna beat the shit out of that person? He's a wild card. You don't exactly know what to expect from Joaquin Phoenix's character. He is that insane and enraged and bizarre, and the way he physically looks. Joaquin Phoenix gives such an amazing, striking, crazy performance as this character. Like, he has these tics in the way his face moves. He's always slurring. You can tell his liver's probably not in great shape, and he like hunches more of a man as an animal. Philip Seymour Hoffman represents everything that really is against, because the whole thing with The Cause in his book is about control and religion in itself, cult or Christianity or whatever is, I mean, that's why the Vikings used Christianity. They used it to control the masses. I mean, that's very well documented. And I think a lot of religion is giving some people part of control, giving people kind of a system to believe in. Most people really like control and like a sense of order. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is bringing his own sense of order, and he really represents that sense of order. But because he has started this sense of order, everyone around him is very orderly and controlled. And when Joaquin Phoenix's character come in, who's a wild card, who's really not controllable and is looking for some sense of control, whereas Amy Adams, his wife, is very controlled by this cause. His son is, regardless if he's going to admit it or not, is very controlled by this cause. And all these people who are around him are controlled by this and are looking for the order in the world through it. Meeting someone like Joaquin Phoenix, who he can both kind of show how strong his cause is and how right these beliefs are through it, but also because he is so different. He's the polar opposite of what he is and what he is used to. And that relationship, which is really at the core of The Master between these two men, is interesting because I feel like they start bleeding into one another. But I think Joaquin Phoenix bleeds more into Philip Seymour Hoffman. With Joaquin Phoenix's character, who's Freddie Quell is just so chaotic. And when you see them bleed into it, I think Freddie Quell needs that order and uses it and really believes in it. He thinks it's helping him, but I feel like he is too much of an animal. You can't control him. And that scene where they're in the jail together says so much, because you know, you have them in different cells right next to one another, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is orderly and controlled. And even when he gets arrested right before, he's trying to be order, and he might scream a little bit. He might lose his patience, and he has such a bolsterous voice. He's so convincing. He can go up there and really speak to these people, and they believe him, but he's so charismatic, you want to believe him. And in that moment he gets arrested, he has the cool and the calm and the charisma. But the way Joaquin Phoenix and Freddie Quell reacts to being arrested is he wants to fight. They have to get 5 cops to hold him down or something. You know, he's an animal. He's ridiculously out of control. In this interview I read with Joaquin Phoenix, he talks about it's like an animal who's lost in suburbia And you know, when the cops come and and animal control's trying to get them, they just run into a wall because they're confused and they're scared. They're known to react, and Freddie Quell reacts. And then when you have that jail scene and Freddie Quell is bouncing the bunk up and down with his head and smashing a toilet and being completely uncivilized and crazy and yelling, and then you look at Philip Seymour Hoffman's Lanchester Dodd character, and he's calm and collected and cool. He's calmly using the restroom in the cell, and he's trying to calm him down. He's created a system that is orderly. It's supposed to, he even says it, it's supposed to show that man is not animal. Man is better than animal. There's a lot of people who love that control, but religion isn't, and cult and cause and systems that are there for control and to give you order aren't really for everyone. There's no way they're going to be able to be everything for everyone. And I think Freddie Quell can never ever fit into any cause because he's so reactionary, he's so crazed and wild. This movie is so dense, there's so much idea behind it. And when I look at this film, and I saw this film at a nice screening at the Ziegfeld, you know, the beautiful 70mm showing at the Ziegfeld while I watched it, and the reflection of the light bouncing off this beautiful theater with this whole nice film on display. It's just not the kind of film that you immediately expect from Paul Thomas Anderson. I think it's really kind of a different type of film from him. A lot of his films, I think, like Boogie Nights and Magnolia and stuff, you could see a lot of Altman influence. This film is a lot more cerebral than all that. Those films kind of represent more of what we're used to. What we're used to as a film-going audience, particularly right now, especially at this time in cinema history, is a 3-act structure. And this film flies in the face of all of that. It's dreamlike, it's strange. The camera, which, you know, we're all making a big deal about this 70mm. Everyone wants to see it in 70mm. When you think of a film that's showing in 70mm, you probably think of Lawrence of Arabia, of these beautiful, scenic, amazing, beautiful valleys and mountains, and the sky is amazing, and look at how it's thunderously coming over you in this gigantic visual spectacle. And this film, aside from a scene in the desert with motorcycles, which you've already seen in the trailer, this film doesn't really have that. This film isn't really interested in doing that. But there's some mystique about it. There's mystery. And there's mystery and mystique about this entire movie. It's so mysterious and dense, it's like you're not ever really going to tackle... I mean, I don't think I'm going to tackle this whole film, this whole review. I'm going to try it very passionately. But it's like, I'm not going to be able to tackle it. No one's going to be able to come out of this film in one viewing and get it. I see a lot of movies, obviously, I guess you know if you've seen a couple of my reviews, and when I'm watching like The Possession, for example, my brain can acclimate to where I get what I'm watching right now, what kind of a genre this is, other than that I already know, but you can acclimate to the kind of movie you're watching very quickly. And The Master, as an audience member, this isn't formatted like another movie that I have seen. It's dreamlike quality, things aren't explained. When Joaquin Phoenix meets Lanchester Dodd, right? When he meets him and Freddie Quell, he goes on to the boat. You see him get on the boat, and then you see him wake up in the cabin. You never see him be drunk there. You never see him become violent, and it's never even mentioned, and it's not important. The feverish movement of it and the dreamlike quality to the film, there's just certain things are emphasized, certain things are not emphasized, and in like such a controlled way. There's so much there. Film students are going to be picking this apart with a fine-tooth comb for 30 years. And honestly, I feel like there'll be more I can find through it. It's a glamorous masterpiece of a movie, but it's a cerebral, confusing one. And it's the kind of divisive film that we're not really used to nowadays. Being confronted with this bizarre pacing and this bizarre editing and like the feverish way it winds and weaves its way throughout the film without, you know, a major, very emotional climax or anything is really kind of interesting, and I found it quite a rewarding, amazing experience. And this crazy kinetic score by Johnny Greenwood that just like amplifies the bizarre nature and the dreamlike quality to it, and how crazed it is and how weird and strange everything is. It's like some bizarre maestro, but Paul Thomas Anderson knows exactly what he's doing and you want to go along for the ride. It's a shame if you don't get it, and it's a bigger shame if you miss it. It's honestly one of the most rich film experiences I've had probably of the entire year, and it's going to be a definite memorable film in the years to come, and a film that you will want to argue with your friends. So if you have seen The Master and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to.